Hey there, it's Darren and welcome to the Small Business Big Idea Show. This is the place where you'll find the kind of inspiring, poignant, and thought-provoking interviews you won't find anywhere else. Why? Because I believe that small business owners and entrepreneurs, people just like you and me, have incredible stories to tell. But unfortunately, they often go untold. My goal is to help bring them to light so that we can all learn from each other and get better together. Now today I have an excellent episode in store for you. I sat down with Jill Howell, owner of Raindancer Studios, in her photography studio. Jill shared so many incredible moments from her journey, including how she got started in photography, what it was like to be a hardworking single mom, as well as a hilarious story that highlights some of the hazards that can come with being a family photographer. I know you're going to get so much out of this one, so please enjoy. Hey Jill, thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And so, how did you become a photographer? How did that happen for you? How did you get into the photography business?
For me, it was very organic. I did not set out to start a photography business. My daughter was 3, and I started taking photos of her, took a photography class, posted some of the pictures I took of her on Facebook. And then a bunch of my friends started asking me to take pictures of their kids.
So you just started with the camera and all that just for you. It was personal, had nothing to do with having a business or anything at all.
Right.
And then you had some really beautiful photos and friends reacted then. And so what happened then? Did you take it a step further? Did you take more courses, or did you get encouraged to start a business, or did you tell yourself, maybe I should do this?
When the door opened and people started offering to pay me, it was at a time in my life where things were really hard in my home. And so it was a breath of fresh air for me. So I just decided, okay, this door has opened and I'm gonna run through it and see what happens. So I started taking every class that I could, started practicing as much as I could, just started.
And just started, just said, you had your camera, you had some lessons, you knew you were natural also in what you were doing, and just kept getting better at it and just opened your door. So the time period there was pretty quick then? From when you did that, took those photos of your daughter to actually starting?
Yeah, basically within 3 to 4 months, I had made the plunge. Very quick. Set a business name and moved forward.
And so your business is called Raindancer Studios. Tell me a little bit about that. What does Raindancer Studios mean?
So, like I said, it started during a time in my life when things were tough. And so I had clung very dearly to the quote that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And photography for me was something that it made me dance in the rain when things were tough. So it made me see that there was still good in the world. It allowed me to see beauty when I felt like things were kind of falling apart around me. So
it's really a metaphor for how your life was and how things were going for you, and you really saw the positivity in that and incorporated that into your business.
I did, and then as I started taking more and more photos, I recognized that I wanted photos to be a way for other people to dance in the rain during their own trials of their life. So for me, I see it as me giving people a gift of joy, that when the times hit hard, and they will, and they always do, and it's an ebb and flow through life of up and down, and that in those moments when it's hard, that those would be things that would be a gift to them and bring them up and help them dance in their own storm.
That's a great point. Photography, you're capturing a moment, you're capturing this for a lifetime. That person or that family at that specific point. What does photography mean to you? Is it, which is a big part of what you just said, is it about really capturing that moment, that whatever the person's going through, and really preserving it for their future?
Yes, for me it's capturing the moments. I am more of a lifestyle photographer, so I actually love photos where people aren't looking at my camera.
So that means not posed, that means
not
like
posed.
In
more
active
relaxed,
everyday norm.
Yeah, authentic, real emotion, the expressions that take place between people that I can't make happen. It happens between that special, unique relationship of a mom and a child, or a mom and a dad, or a husband and wife, and siblings, those real parts of people that come out when they're interacting with each other authentically.
And what's one of your favorite moments that happened when you were shooting, whether it's a couple, a single person, a family? I mean, did something ever happen that, was inspiring or emotional or uplifting that you maybe later in the day or in the week you thought about it, the way that family interacted, or what is one special moment that sort of comes to mind when you think about that?
I think what always touches me the most is when men actually after the session have had an enjoyable experience, because a lot of guys don't like getting their photos taken. So when they come into a photo session, they are kind of drug in there by their wife sometimes.
Right.
And so for them to see them authentically interacting with their families and at the end to tell me that they have had fun and that they really enjoyed
wow,
it.
this is what I expected.
This is not as stressful. This was painless. It wasn't that hard, and those are moments that I really appreciate.
Especially because some men might not have had pictures or experienced a lifestyle photographer. They probably think of, sitting in a department store taking portraits when they were a kid, and it was like pulling teeth to do. Like, gee, Mom, I don't want to get, my fancy clothes on and my fancy shoes on to go down and get my picture taken. And then when they see how relaxed you do it and they get to interact with their family, then they're really probably surprised by that whole experience.
Yes, so there's that. And then on the other side of it, I always love and appreciate when moms at the end of it are like, thank you so much for being so patient, because kids are crazy. And so in the middle of a photo session, moms are really stressed about how their kids are behaving or misbehaving, and I roll with it and I distract and divert, and we work around it and we work through it. And at the end of it, they're like just amazed sometimes that
how patient you are and everything.
And that
you have to be for that.
Yeah, and that to me, like, to leave and have everybody feeling good about the experience makes me just encouraged and inspired to continue what I'm doing.
What's one of the funniest things that ever happened on a photo shoot? I mean, I'm sure you've seen seen everything, but I mean, kids do crazy things, babies do crazy things,
Well, babies always poop or pee, generally. If a diaper comes off, that happens, and that's always funny. And if it's on me or if it's on a dad or somebody, that's always funny. But honestly, one of my most hilarious moments was when a toddler, he's a very interactive, boisterous, and active child. And he threw a rock at me during that session. He tackled me with my camera in my hand.
Oh my goodness.
And I just played with him.
Yeah,
I just engaged it and let it roll and had fun, but thankfully there were no injuries. But it was a surprise. And it's something that I laugh about still from this day forward. I tell my clients, don't worry, I've had rocks thrown at me. I have been tackled in play, and it's okay.
Now, I know you have a teenage daughter, and over the years, from time to time, she's been with you on photo shoots and helped you out. As she's observed you at your job, at your work, you brought her with you, what lessons do you think she's learned from you?
I mean, she learns how to work with people, for sure, but I know even from when she was little, she wanted to start her own photography blog, and she wanted to make her own business cards, and she has my very first DSLR camera. I passed that down to her when I actually got a business going and have professional gear now.
This is just all coming from her. She wants to.
So she wants to engage in it.
Emulate you a little bit. She's model. So she's really seeing something in you then that's inspiring her. She wants to model. That's always a positive thing when you see a kid doing that. She'll probably find her own way, but it's
right now it's Instagram with her phone.
Okay.
So she still is
she's still in the photos and
photography. Yeah. I hope one day she'll shoot weddings with me and be a partner with me in the business.
Now that you're remarried, you have, I think, 4 girls, right, that are looking up to you, including your own. What advice do you give them, or would you give them in the future, about how to find their true calling in life?
I mean, we have lots of conversations about what they want to be and what they want to do, but at this point in their life, it's still constantly changing.
Right, of course.
Whatever comes out of their mouth.
Of course.
You know, daily is they want to do this and then they want to do this. And I'm like, okay, I just kind of allow them to have that space to
dream and
do, think about whatever it is that they want to do. I just encourage them that whatever they do, they jump into it fully and embrace it and understand that it's not going to be all just roses, and that it's difficult to run a business. It's difficult in any job or career that you do. There's going to be pros and cons to everything.
Right.
So I kind of try to take a realistic approach too, and it's like, great, if that's what you want to do, but just know that this is a part of it too. So I kind of try to help them have a balanced perspective in the process of dreaming. So it's like, it's great to dream, but you have to be realistic about that too, and kind of know fully what you're getting into. Because I definitely didn't know what I was getting into when I started my business.
Something you had to learn and go through along the way.
Yeah.
There was a period of time in your life where you were a working single mom, hardworking single mom, doing it all. What was that like for you? What was some of the challenges that you had to endure at that period of your life?
Well, interestingly, I was also homeschooling.
Wow.
While I was taking my business from part-time to full-time after I was going through my separation and divorce. So that was tough. That was about a full school year of teaching and taking my business full-time.
Wow. You're doing it all.
So it was stressful. It was hard. But I think that there's a different kind of grind when you know that you have to provide for a child, and there wasn't an option to not do it. You just
did what you had to do.
Yeah, you plug through the hard days, the long days, the difficult moments.
What did it teach you about yourself? What did you learn about yourself? And
a lot stronger than I knew I was. That's for sure.
Now, for most of your business, you've done it all on your own. I mean, you have some help now. You have some people working with you and working for you, but for many years, you've done it all yourself. What is an example of something that you have to do in your business, whether it's every day or every week or every month, that maybe was a little bit harder or more challenging for you to do? You didn't want to do it, and how did you work at it to get better?
Man, I can give you a long list of things, honestly. If you say, what's one thing? I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a bajillion things here that I'm thinking. I mean, from creating a website, that was tough, or managing it, from blogging and SEO and being able to put content out there that can be found and searchable on Google or Bing, when people are looking for a photographer. There's that. There's the multi-layers of marketing that is just tough to keep up with, from all the different algorithms changing with social media. So there's like the social media aspect of things for marketing. There's all these different theories and scientific ways of going about things for, the blogging, like I said, but then also email marketing, to in-person marketing of yourself. Those are the things I think that are constantly swirling.
Constantly changing, constantly hard to keep up. I mean, can be overwhelming for a small business owner. I mean, just a lot to do.
Especially for somebody who didn't go to school for a business degree. I'm a trained elementary school teacher. So
you're self-taught, you're figuring it out as you go.
Yes, like listening to webinars, doing workshops.
See, I was going to ask you, so what helped you get better at some of these things? Was it just trial and error, experience, some classes, working with, trying to learn?
Yeah, I think networking with other photographers. There's just great people in Indianapolis that are photographers that have open hearts to network, encourage each other, and spur each other on. But then there's also, I'm very dedicated to taking workshops in person or buying workshops online and listening to them and doing them at home too. Just constantly trying to learn.
Now, you've been in business for almost 10 years. And what drives you in your business? What keeps you going every day with what you do?
The people. I'd say probably some of the families that I've photographed where I know that those are the last photographs that they ever had of a certain person who passed afterwards. And knowing that those are priceless to them, that has been pretty impactful to me.
What are some things that you want to do in your business that maybe you haven't done yet? Is there any type of photography that you haven't done but you've thought about? Is there any way you want to grow or shape your business that you've maybe thought about that you haven't done yet? What are sort of the things you're thinking about that you want to do?
You know, I'm in a process right now of trying to dream bigger. I think that oftentimes being a mom and having 4 kids, I kind of set my own dreams aside, and I feel like because my business started so organically and it wasn't really a planned thing by me, I have rolled with it and I've kind of watched it become what it is without a whole lot of purposeful dreaming. Like photography, this business is more than what I've ever dreamed of already. Like I had never dreamt of myself being where I am right now. So that in itself is bigger than I had created for myself or envisioned for myself. So I'm at a process where, like, I do have an assistant right now who works a small handful of hours, and I've been taking on interns because as a trained educator, I love teaching people. So I'm taking on interns, and I love having more of a team right now. Like I like doing things with people. So I would like to have probably an assistant that's working even more hours as things progress and coming up with new creations together. I think I'm more of a people person, so I'm really dreaming about having something with other people. It gets a little lonely being an entrepreneur working by myself.
It does.
Because I am extroverted and I get energized by people, but that's only a part of my business when I'm working during a photo session, where most of my business truly takes place in my home office in front of a computer without any people. So I'm really energized right now because of these interns and the assistant that I have right now.
Yeah, being around other people. I mean, I can totally relate because I work for myself too. And like you said, so much of your time is spent by yourself in front of a screen, and it can be, especially if you're a people person and you love to be around people, you're looking for ways to connect and do that. So I totally get it.
Yeah, I actually just recently created a home office, a space of my own. Like my desk is not in my bedroom anymore.
Oh, it's often secluded. You brought it out a little bit.
It's actually in a room of its own, and I've decorated it and designed it, and it's been really fun. And it's like momentum building for me because I have a space when my interns and my assistant comes over that they share that space with me now. And so that I think is helping me to dream a little bit bigger too. Like, oh, I have a space that's like all my own.
You can envision that office environment or that space with more people.
Yeah, totally.
What are you reading or learning or experiencing in life right now that's helping you with your business?
Well, I'm definitely right now doing an online course. That's a big part of it right now about email marketing.
So you're constantly trying to learn about different things and get better.
Yeah, learning that. I'm signed up to go to a workshop in April, an in-person conference for 2 days, all on photography. So
I think it's smart that, when small business owners are constantly trying to learn, because we can get so set in our ways or feel like we know our craft and whatever we're good at, and you get good at it over time. Just like you do photography, you do it enough times, you get really good. And there's a tendency sometimes to think, well, I got it figured out, or I know that part of it. And it's good to keep learning and growing and taking, putting into your own curriculum or your own schedule or curriculum that you're learning and trying to get better. So I think it's smart.
Yeah, I think if you ever get to a point in your life where you think you've got it all figured out, you're about to go downhill.
Right.
Because I think that our culture is always evolving. I feel like we are always evolving as people. And I think we have to just constantly be open to learning and growth. And maybe that's just because I'm a trained educator too. And so I believe that learning is what unlocks the doors for you. opens up your opportunities.
Many years from now, when you look back at your body of work, your life, all the things that you've created, what do you want your legacy to be? How would you like to be remembered?
I want people to remember me as somebody who perseveres and has overcome. Like, I see myself as an overcomer and somebody who, despite the struggles, the pains in life, the trials that come my way, that I am somebody who will fight and will give it my all and never stop trying.
What last thought or piece of advice would you like to share with other entrepreneurs or small business owners who may be listening to this right now?
Be patient with yourself. Be gracious to yourself. There's a large learning curve in running a business and owning a business and starting a business. Just the whole process, I think, from even just starting it to actually being in it and living it, and being in my 9th year of business right now, I feel like I still have to continually give myself grace because I don't know everything. I don't know what I'm doing in every area of running a business. There's so many facets to know and to learn. It's not about just photography for me. It's not about just using my camera and knowing how to use it. There's just so many things.
Jill, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Darren, for having me.